Hello guys, this is Azrael. Thank you for tuning into my channel. This is my wife, Lady Lilith.
Hello.
So, she's my sexy special guest today. In this video, we're going to be talking about an oil that I use, and it's an all-purpose oil. I really hate unitaskers. When I talk about magic, I like using cooking and tools in the kitchen. I don't like things that are one-trick ponies. I like things that cover a broad spectrum, tools that I could use for multiple things, right? So in any case, one of our friends did a video about Blockbuster and road opening oils and how they differ. I mean, they have been used interchangeably, the names. I've even been guilty of doing that. A lot of people, I think almost everybody has, if they've even heard of them. But road opener is basically stuff that you use to get rid of curses, roughly, that are standing in your way. Evil eye, for example, people look at you and wish, oh, I hope you don't succeed. They're basically giving you a little small hex, and over time, that kind of negativity builds up. And then, of course, Blockbuster would be removing obstacles that are in the physical world that have been set up against you or yourself. Pulling this out of my head, a bad habit that you do in interviews. Do a Blockbuster, it might highlight to you, and you're like, okay, well, you don't dress right, so it's an obstacle that you put in front of you, or somebody else has to in the mundane world. Okay, what I'm saying is, I like an oil that's multi-purpose. For example, I have a lot of books. My wife has a lot of books. We have a lot of herbs. What's some of the harder to find herbs that you have that literally?
Belladonna, deer's tongue.
Well, basically we don't have room to have multiple oils. So, a simple love oil would be maybe olive oil and rose petals. Most people want more ingredients than that, but this is just an example. I mean, I got my love. I mean, I might use love oil for a client, but I could also use a different oil that's basically multiple purpose. So one of these multiple purposes is my oil, which doubles both as a blockbuster and a road opener. And we're going to give you a demonstration. All right, so off camera, because we had to let it cool, of course, you write on a piece of paper a statement of your intent. This oil is for me to remove obstacles, bring prosperity. Okay, just put it in whatever word you want, but say it in the affirmative, like this has already happened. This oil has given me prosperity, has opened roads, it has removed obstacles. Okay, burn it, or you could just roll it up and put it in your jar. You're gonna need a little jar. The scroll can be removed later, so the paper don't turn to mush. But I just burnt our little paper. I'm just gonna put those ashes with that intention there inside there, okay? That simple. All right, so the first ingredient is going to be, well, can probably be found in just about every road opener oil, because pine needles is well, first of all, the scent, very clean, very smells real good. So these are used for pine needles are used for prosperity, cleansing. You could put pine needles in a bath for a magic cleansing. And of course, it helps open prosperity channel. So in any case, I talked too much. Here you go. Pine needles into the jar. Okay, the next ingredient is going to be a pinch of witch's salt or black salt. My recipe is somewhere on my channel. If not, you can find somebody else's. Just a little bit, not much, for protection and grounding some of the negativity, and help protecting against new negativity as your work is working. So we're going to put some cloves in there. Cloves is basically an all-purpose herb for the most part. In a lot of places, like say in Indonesia, burning cloves is believed to raise the vibration of an area for it to be more spiritual. It's a fiery herb. I believe it's ruled by Jupiter. I'm pulling off memory, so I'm not sure. So don't quote me on that. But in any case, it is fiery, and it's for protection, prosperity, and stuff like that. So this is part of the road opening too. Some cloves in there. Now cloves. I'll put cloves in just about everything because it also speeds things up too, like cinnamon, which, by the way, is my next ingredient. Cinnamon. Put a cinnamon stick into the jar. Now we put our ingredients in the jars first, so if it's filled up with oil and you're jamming shit in there, it's just going to overflow and get in the way. Now cinnamon is basically an all-purpose herb. Love, protection, prosperity, speeds things up. Okay. Bay leaves is the next ingredient. Forgot to open this one. Now, every time you add an ingredient, basically state its intention, what you're using it for. This is important because the herbs have multiple reasons, multiple purposes. You're singling out ones that are relevant. So make sure every time you add it, man, mentally, emotionally, or verbally, for victory, protection, bay leaves are awesome. Again, all-purpose herb. Matter of fact, when you mix it with another ingredient I have in many cultures, it's used in exorcism. So it's breaking or curse breaking, hex breaking. So when it's mixed with sandalwood, which is going to be the next ingredient. One more bay leaf in there. And I never understood the herb bay leaf, even in kitchen witchery. I mean, I understand the purpose, but when you put it in soups and stews, has anybody said, wow, this stew needs more bay leaf? I never. Okay.
You have the palate of McDonald's.
All right. Like as promised, I have some sandalwood chips. I don't use a lot of powders in my oils because it just, to me, kind of cakes things up. That's just me, my opinion. But some sandalwood chips. Ow, I just stabbed myself. Some sandalwood chips into the jar. Oh, I stabbed myself with the sharp bark of the sandalwood here. Now, okay, another herb we're going to put in our jar, or not herb or spice, red pepper flakes. Great for hex breaking, or and of course, whatever you use can heal or destroy, basically. So these are also used in hexes, believe it or not. But we're not going for that. We're going for the fiery aspect of kick-ass, burning things out of our way, attacking, building energy. Red pepper flakes are great for energy too. We're building up energy and using that energy to attack what's in our way, to remove. That's what we're doing here. Okay. All right. My last ingredient that I use is Vesta powder. I have a video on how to make that as well. Basically, it is one of the ingredients in gunpowder, so it's explosive when it's mixed with things on the right. Potassium nitrate and sugar is rocket fuel for people who make homemade rockets like firecrackers. This is the blockbusting shit because it's an explosive. So it literally, as above, as below, this Vesta powder is used to cleanse. When you burn it in your incense or so forth, it cleanses areas. It's named after the goddess Vesta, which is the goddess of home and hearth. But again, it is very fiery and explosive. And this is definitely the blockbusting element because, it's dynamite. Boom. Take some of that little Vesta powder in there. Boom. And that is definitely going to remove any obstacles at our way in an explosive spiritual sense. So, what oil to use? Well, you could use almond oil, which is very popular. Matter of fact, I'm going to put a couple of drops of almond oil. Almond oil, I like using almond oil in my black cat oil. But it's good here in road opening oil too. But this is just going to be here for the properties of the almonds, which are prosperity and so forth. I'm actually my base oil today is going to be mineral oil, but again, a few drops of almond oil won't hurt, and it adds to the symbolism. Okay, so we have mineral oil, which is what I'm going to be using for the most part in this. And you just put on the lid. Yeah, give it a couple of shakes every couple of days. And a couple of days, it'll be infused with some of the smells and be real good. Of course, we like, all right, the candles are across the room. We like putting candles on top to charge it, give it energy with purpose and intention. But again, you seal this, again, after all the ingredients are put together. You should say this in between every ingredient in your mind or vocally. You consecrate it again, like in whatever way you want. It's very common, like in the name of whatever deity or no deity or the universe. I'm going to do that off camera because that stuff is kind of personal for me. But that's how you do it. Put a candle after you charge it. Put a candle up there and let it charge, build up, and you have an all-purpose oil for removing obstacles, both spiritual and mundane. Thank you. My wife here again is.
If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Leave some comments. Tell your friends.
Yeah, please leave some comments. My comment section is kind of getting naked. Anyway, everybody's watching my videos, apparently.
Feedback is great.
Yeah. Thank you, and take care.